What is up, Sandshark fans? It is your host, Brackin Lambert, alongside my buddy, Wes Kerr, and it is just the two of us tonight as both Justin, Max, and the whole Rewind crew are trying to recover from a long and busy week as we get close to the end of February. Wes, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Man, this winter sports season has been flying by. I can't believe we're right into the last week of the regular season for men's and women's basketball as
Oh,
we really get things running for spring sports, baseball and softball, within a couple of weeks into both of those schedules. So,
yeah.
it is flying by. We are getting towards the thick of it here, and a lot to look forward to still as we get ready for two games in the Cove, and really for baseball and softball to kick into high gear now with region play or with conference play upcoming or already started.
Yeah, conference play started with baseball, and that's a good segue just to get us started. Man, the offense is not struggling whatsoever. They are averaging close to 7-8 runs a game, but it's the bullpen and it's the defense today that kind of lacked that hurt us. Unfortunately, a tough game there for our Sand Sharks, and to fall there against Augusta, where we came out there and clobbered them in game one, 12-2.
Yeah.
Jeremy Brown with two big home runs. And I mean, it just kind of looked like that was it. That was going to be the start of everything. And then a tough one yesterday, lose that one 8-6, and then this one 11-5. So, Wes, what's your thoughts so far about, what you saw? I don't know if you got to catch any of the
Well,
games. But
I'm still optimistic by the way they performed this first week, and I obviously we would have loved to have taken 2 out of 3 and won the series, but I mean, couldn't have started better on Friday with the way you respond both offensively, and you got a great start out of your Friday night guy, Joe Turner. He went 6
Mhm.
deep and didn't allow an earned run, struck out 7. But you got to have that consistency throughout a weekend to win a series. You got to take, you got to have at least two, or you really would love to have 3 solid outings from your starters on the mound if you want to win a series. But Andrew Shanks battled in game 2 and unfortunately just unable to stay in its well they're in it. It was only an 8-6 ball game, so they
Right.
were in it until the end, but unable to find enough to get them over the top in that ball game in terms of taking that second one. And then game 3 today, they battled. They were down 6 runs. I was following today's game. They're down 6. They got back into it. They had the bases loaded. They're able to score a couple runs and make it a game. And
Yep.
unfortunately, Augusta struck for 3 on that 3-run homer late in the 7th inning,
Yeah.
and that was pretty much that, unfortunately. But to your point about the offense, very encouraging for what I have seen so far, especially carried over into conference play. And Luke Doty and Jeremy Brown both going yard in that Friday game. Jeremy Brown has been swinging a great bat this year. One of the most positive developments of what we've seen. A 3-for-4 day on top of that. So it wasn't just a home run, but he drove in 4 and went 3-for-4 to power the offense. And we had 5 different players who had a multi-hit game on Friday night, which is
Yeah.
outstanding to see. Doty, Campbell, Andre, Carson Weathers, who have been the big story, the big bats we have seen develop this year and have been the big story for this squad. But that is great to see. And even in the 2 losses, I thought the offense still found a way to keep it in some sort of striking distance for the most part in both of those games. And you just gotta have to put it all together in terms of getting that solid start from your Saturday Sunday starter, and then having that bullpen in there to back it up and keep yourself in it. Saturday, I mean, it was still just a 2-run game, and the Sand Sharks had opportunities, but unfortunately not enough late to rally from behind in that one. But Matt Navarro, he's been battling. He has been a great positive sign. He pitched the last 2 innings in that loss on Saturday.
So actually, real quick, that was a stat mistake.
Okay.
That was actually Ian Barnes who closed out those last 2 innings.
Okay.
He was. I got to ask Lewis this tomorrow, but why he was wearing 18. So that's why they put Navarro in there. But no, to piggyback on that really quick, Navarro has been pitching lights out of the bullpen. He's been kind of your first one out all season long. So yeah, I agree. And it stumbled a little bit today where they had to use 5 guys to go, or
Yeah.
use 4 guys to get through 2 1/3 inning.
That's a tough part of a Sunday game or a Sunday game, a 3-game series. You're trying to find guys, that you have left, and that's where depth really comes into play for, teams that we have seen throughout
Mhm.
this conference who have had great success in years. They find that depth to or at least, find ways to, manage your pitching staff well, so you get an effective outing from your first 2 guys and save some other arms for later, or you just have that depth to get to eat up those important innings and keep your team in it, or continue to keep your guys ahead. So I think this team is very close to really making some noise in this conference. I think the offense is obviously the big story of this year,
Yeah.
is the development of what we're seeing. When you look overall, I mean, Noah Campbell, Cooper McDaniel, both over 350 in their batting average. Carson Weathers
Mhm.
and Luke Doty over 300 as well. And I think we're great. We're excited to see the great strides in just the power hitting. I mean, we've seen 2 home runs from McDaniel and Doty, Carson Weathers with that really exciting one at home a couple
Yep.
weeks ago, which I was on the call for. So that was fantastic to see. So I think the offense, just from what we've seen in the past, looking back to a year ago, I think the strides that the lineup has made as a whole, I think, is very, very positive. And now it's just, can you get more out all of your guys in the bullpen, as well as continue to solidify that starting rotation? Because obviously today, I wish, I'm sure they wish they could have seen a little bit more. But even so, Alex Simmons only allowed 2 earned runs
Yeah.
today. A couple of errors kind of played in, and that's something that you definitely want to avoid in a conference game setting. But in terms of your starters, obviously you got a great start um, from Turner on Friday, and then Shanks, he was able to get a couple of strikeouts and minimize the damage.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, certainly errors had a big part in the say of that line for Alex Simmons, but he still just allowed 2 earned runs and was able to get himself out of some tough spots. So
Yeah.
I think they're trying to solidify that, and Faulkner will continue to mix and match and find out what works best as we go forward in the year. But I still think this team can be very competitive. I don't think we're anywhere close to hitting a panic button yet on this
No,
team.
not
I
even.
think there's a lot of tremendous baseball left to be seen from this squad, and a lot more road games coming up ahead in the next few weeks.
Yeah, lots of road games up here. They play at Georgia Southwestern this weekend, and then the weekend after, I believe, they go out to Milledgeville. So, and that's when softball opens up their conference play at home. It's going to be a crazy weekend, just trying to get everything squared away. So, but let's tip our hats over to the softball field. Cody Esky
Yeah.
and her squad, man, they're
Oh,
absolutely going out there and blowing teams out of the water right now. And Coker, who is sitting at 500, they were 6-6 coming in play today. But man, the offense really
yeah.
a big 7-run. I think it was a 7-run fourth inning. I've got to look back over the
Yes.
story.
So in the third,
Uh,
I believe was
7 1/3, yeah.
yeah.
And it was, I mean, and the damage was done. That the top of the lineup
Yeah.
fed the middle of the lineup, and then also, Tamaya Whitlock, Saria Simmons, and then Chloe Turner, who's kind of solidified herself into that 3-hole right now, with the absence of Mackenzie Ford. And they powered it up, and then the fireworks happened in game 2. Man, 2 4-run innings, and Addie Reynolds with a 3-run bomb, Taylor Chang with a 3-run bomb. They're going. I mean, this team's going to be a force within the conference, and I think everybody's kind of like, oh crap, they're looking at them. They've only lost 3 games, and
Good.
and the 2 games that they lost to Francis Marion were not bad games at all. The
Good.
second game got a little bit blown out there, but not anything to be worried about. That first game was a nail biter through and through, and one pitch one way could have led to a split in that series. If you just kind of take one pitch in that outcome. So
Yeah.
Sierra Kinlaw, man, she is
Oh,
continuing to dominate. I mean, just continuing to be a stud on the mound, able to go out there and get all these games out there. And they picked up another 2 wins against Edward Waters this week too. So they're on a 4-game winning streak right now.
Yeah, this softball team is just having a fantastic start to the season, playing some an excellent form right now. And I I was bummed when we had to postpone the games last weekend when Southern
Mhm.
Wesleyan came in and only got a few innings of being able to see them. But looking forward to them getting back to Richard Gray very soon, because this team is so much fun to watch, and they put up runs in bunches. They put up a 5 spot, I believe, early in that Southern Wesleyan game before we had to postpone it because of rain. And then today, as you mentioned, 7 in the third. When this offense is churning, it is just nonstop, and they put up runs in bunches. And the long ball, we saw 3 of them on game 2: Chloe Turner, Taylor Chang, and Addie Reynolds.
Yep.
Up and down the lineup, you're seeing just the incredible work of what we have seen, not just this year, but the last really 2 years of this
Mhm.
program. That Cody Yeski is really, I've said this all the time on broadcast, but she's really emphasized success at the plate, and even if it's not the big double or the big home run, you're getting runners on. I mean, you're drawing walks,
Mhm.
you're taking hit by pitches at some points. You're finding ways to get runners on, moving them over, and it's just really fun and exciting softball to watch when they're on their game. And this year, it seems like it's been that way every time they take the field, or at least most times. And you're getting that terrific execution, top of the lineup from players like Tamaya Whitlock and Cerise Simmons, who are also starting to find their bats as well. Whitlock 2 for 3 in game 1 and drove in a run. So I mean,
Yeah.
just incredible production up and down this order. I believe 8 of 9 players in the lineup got a hit in that first game,
Mhm.
and then the success continued in game 2. So it's been a really terrific team effort on that side of things. Uh, and Taylor Chang, who did go hitless in that first game, guess what? She responded with 2 for 4 and a 4 RBI line in game 2. So everybody contributed. Absolutely everyone contributed in the lineup, and that is fantastic to see. And then you can't forget about Sierra Kinlaw. She really drives this team with her performances out there in the circle, and just working like it. Just an incredible knack for picking up important Ks, and you know playing some very efficient softball. Only 78 pitches through 5 in the victory, which they won in run rule fashion, 10-2. So this team is cooking to start the year, and they are going to be a problem in this conference. There is no doubt they are going to be an important factor, and I expect them to compete game in and game out, and
Mhm.
it's going to be really fun, because I think this team has the potential to make some noise this year in this Peach Belt, and they're going to be a tough team for anyone to face.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just looking at the overall stats right now. Um, 6 out of the 9 players who qualify for the league, the team lead in batting average, are batting 340 or above, and 4 of them are batting 400 or better. Tamaya's at
Insane.
400, Sari at 440, Jaden at 462, and Darren at 471. And then Caitlin Boyette is not far off. She's at 279. Mackenzie 4 at 267. Hoping she gets back soon. She's still got a 1385 OPS. I mean, it's out, video game like. And then you look at the person that's not in there that you look at most of the time is your everyday catcher, Addie Reynolds.
Yeah.
We all know that she's going to be missing a couple of the midweek games because of student teaching, and so she's trying to get that up. But she hasn't even reached the qualified at bats yet. But she's still batting close over. Right now, she's batting 379. She's got 3 homers, 13 ribbies. She's got an 828 slugging percentage, and 11 hits and 29 at bats. I mean, she's got a
Yeah.
1247 OPS, and the only reason she hasn't just hit that minimum to get up into the way our stats are broken up. It's darker and lighter, so she's still on the darker side right now just because she hasn't had the qualified at bats yet. But
Right.
yeah, 13-3 for the Sand Sharks, and can't wait to. We'll see them out on Tuesday. You making it out to the field on Tuesday for that game?
I will. I'll let you know if
Cool.
Turner's able to call Tuesday's game. Just we'll keep in touch.
Touch
But
base this week,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Turner,
So,
our student broadcaster, is doing a great job, and
yep.
looking forward to working with him more as baseball and softball season go on.
Yeah. So we'll make our quick stop real quick as men's golf kicks off tomorrow, the Old Field Classic, beginning at 8 a.m. over at the Old Field Golf Club. So if you're over here and you want to catch up some good collegiate golf, we got a couple D1 teams, and it's going to be a great event. We'll be out there all day. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee will be out there serving peanut butter and jelly sandwiches right there between 14 and 16 tee boxes, just to make sure that everybody gets some snacks and all that kind of stuff in there. So a great cause out there for SAC, but also as in a great tournament for the guys. And the girls tournament will be later off in the middle of March. So we've got a few weeks before that one. But let's go into our final segment of the night. It's going to be a quick one just with me and Wes here because we've all got busy. We got
Not going on.
Owen. There we go. Gotten some appreciate it, Mr. Owen. Yeah, we're it's Allison's dad. We are moving over to our final segment, which is going to be our basketball. And man, I'm still trying to recover from Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And the highest of highs, you beat your rival overtime, and then you come in and you have a tough one on the road. You end the road season with losses against Flagler, and it just kind of felt like that little bit of the game you were one shot off from it. And for the women's team, I think we've kind of said it. It's a 1 quarter swing where something happens in 1 quarter of the game, whether it be the first quarter, second, third, or fourth, it doesn't matter, that it happens where they go cold for that 8 or 9 minute stretch and they can't get anything going. And in the exact same moment, the opposing team picks it up and they score 18.
Oh, the dream of runs for a reason. That's not true. Yeah. But hey, this women's team, I love the fight that we're seeing over there.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the game against Aiken. I mean, they battled to earn that one. They've gotten a couple of tremendous wins in the Cove, and they've been battling throughout. I mean, this is a team that has had just some tough luck in terms of continued health throughout the year. And this is Lydia Gatosi's first season. She missed all of last year and took her a little bit of time to get up to speed, but she is playing some terrific ball right now. And whether it's her shot either close or beyond the arc at times, and just the way she plays and her abilities to defend and not only that, but be that ball distributor, be that leader, because she really has those leadership qualities. But how about Brianna Pelote with a nice 16-point effort, leading the team and scoring off the bench?
She's made her presence known ever since that Georgia Southwestern game, man. She has played a significant role in these last 5 games, and you can see the confidence. Even on film, you can see the confidence when she's getting in there and making those, getting those balls down low and playing that true post player. Yep. And she's going to continue to get better, and she's going to learn Coach Versup's style of play. I'm really excited to see her grow in these next 2 games and see how they can, because early on she wasn't getting a lot of minutes, and now she's racking up 10, 12, 15, 20 minutes playing half the game. And she's going to play a significant role because, Shania graduates this year. Mm-hmm. So those 2, and so does Ari. So your height kind of is then moved over to Jada, Maddie, and Bree. So it's going to be tight. And I have a feeling that you can probably expect Coach Versup and Brady to go out and try to find another post player, try to get somebody who can do well with Bree and be a significant contributor. Right now, the only commit right now is Courtney Campbell from Hilton Ed Prep. So that's still going to be good. I know she's a sharpshooter and she's a local kid, so she's at every home game. She enjoys coming, so it's going to be
that's going to be fun to see a homegrown young women contribute to and really try to power this USCB women's basketball team program to new heights. So that's going to be a ton of fun in the future. But love to see the effort from this team, and just looking at some of those players you mentioned, like a Shania Rose, who we have seen how impactful she has been rebounding the basketball, especially when
Mhm.
she's out there on the floor, and she's been picking up her scoring as this year has gone on, and it's for the squad, going forward into the rest of this year and into the next season. I think they really are just a few pieces away of from being in really in the midst of things and contending for uh, deep into this conference or deep into
Yeah.
the tournament and in the future. I think this team has a lot of strong pieces that are going to be back. Now it's a matter of, can you use the transfer portal to your advantage and find some of those missing pieces that can
Right.
add that height and add those rebound abilities, and maybe add another player who can contribute to either the scoring in terms of a shooting touch, or the way USCB has been able to continue to fight and battle defensively. And I think Sharon Versum's doing a terrific job. What a great start to this program that we have seen. And early in the program, you're going to have some great moments. You're going to have some lumps, and those are expected. But
Yeah.
I'm pumped to see the future of what this team can do as we continue on to potentially soon being full-fledged members of the Peach Belt. So a lot to be excited about, and just great to see Lydia Gattosi back for this first full season for her, and to continue to see players like Shania Rose, Janiah Hayward continue to grow as starters and as important pieces of this team. And then seeing some quality minutes as well from a player like Brianna Pilot, who has really broken out these last few games, is going to be a big piece down the stretch and
Yeah.
into the future for this team.
No, completely agree. And so as we, shift from the women's to the men, that game right there was kind of a game that you really wanted to take, because one, it's the last road game. Your road warriors. You've been, you played tough games all year long, but I think that, in a way that's okay. You still control your own destiny. Aiken picked up the win against Clayton State, which, just by looking at the standings, that's how it goes. And so now you just come in there and you expect to say, hey, we've got 2 games at home. The last time we played Columbus State at home, we went an extra 20 minutes. We played an entire hour of basketball, and that was the longest game in conference history. So there's a little bit of, fight and ready to go. And that was a great game in Columbus too. And I think that it's going to be a different atmosphere. $5 off, or a $5 general admission tickets. So we hope that the Cove is packed with everybody who wants to come in and get out there to come see both teams, both men and women's play. Knock on wood, hopefully there's no overtimes on that game, because my goodness, we've got a long week ahead of us. And then homecoming / the last regular season game on Saturday. So I think you take everything that's happened out the last week. You go 1-2 on the week. That's great. Cool. You picked up the win you needed. You got to focus now on Wednesday and Saturday on the men's side, because this is going to determine whether or not you get a home game or not.
Right.
You really want to take on that moment and pick up the 3 or 4 seed, because you're either going to be playing, if you're the 3 seed right now, you're playing Flagler again, and you haven't beat them yet. If you're the 4 seed,
a team 3 times.
yeah. And then if you're doing it the same thing, if you're the 4 seed, you're looking at Lander. And so right there, that's the thing, is it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Right. That's the opposite side of that equation.
Now you're looking at it, you can come up there, you win 2 games this week, you got a shot at doing something crazy.
And just looking at the big picture here, the opportunity that is in front of this men's team to when we look back a year ago, they were just fighting to get in. Now they have secured their spot in the conference tournament. Now they have a chance to do something really special in year 2 and host a first-round playoff game. And the cool thing is you get to play 2 at home for the chance to do that, and you have your home crowd behind you both on Wednesday night and on Saturday to try to get the job done. And this has
Mhm.
been just and year one was fantastic. Year two was taking it to another level. Just both this team and the additions that we have seen, but also with the continued support, it has gone up another level in all aspects this year, and it has been really fun to be a part of it. And as I've mentioned before on this podcast and on the Local Sports Lowdown, there are no easy road wins in this conference. None. There
Yeah.
are no easy ones on the road. It is a challenge every time you leave the Cove to go out on the road and play someone in this conference. And
Mhm.
this was a game that could have gone either way. I mean, tied at halftime. USCB had a great start in this one. Unfortunately, just unable to keep it going as we went towards the end of that first half and into the second. But
Yep.
that is the difficulty of playing this conference, playing on the road. Credit to Flagler, credit to Shackelford. He had a great game. Credit to Booknight. He had a great game. But just great to see the continued efforts. I mean, we saw them cut it to 2 with a couple seconds to go. And we were hoping that maybe we could have gotten a reverse of what we saw in the first meeting with Flagler to see the Sand Sharks pull one out late, but unfortunately not meant to be there. But some great performances by Kavon Price and uh, Tassos Fanos, who think has really amped up his contributions to this team as we have gone along, and the depth and the quality of that second unit and what they can do when they get quality minutes is so important. And this is the time of year you just got to have all hands on deck. I mean, every
Yep.
game from here on out is mega important,
Yep.
and you're going to have to find a way to feed off that crowd. Get off to a good start early, although we know they can come back from behind. But against a team of that caliber of Columbus State, you don't want to be chasing that one. You want to find a way to hang with them throughout. We're trying to get an early advantage if you want to knock off Columbus
I
State.
agree.
But it's right in front of you. It is right in front of you here in year two if you're Ron Fudala and this USB basketball team. And I think they have a chance at either one of these two games, or maybe both. You never know, but
Yeah.
I think that they have a real shot against both this Columbus State team, who they played incredibly close in that first meeting, and Augusta. If you look back to Augusta was the first ever team I believe we played
Yep.
in year one,
Yep.
and so you remember what happened there. I mean, that was
14,
just
1-12, baby.
yep,
And it was loud. It was, and it wasn't even during the school yet. It
right.
was a Saturday
Right,
game that no
news,
one
yeah,
was there, and it was
yep.
still packed. So yeah, I'm excited. You got to come out there on Wednesday and Saturday. Sandshark fans, get out there, support your USCB Sandsharks. Both men and women need it.
Yeah,
And come out Tuesday to Hardyville and watch the girls play Fayetteville State over on the softball field. It's going to be a little bit before we see the baseball team back, but it'll be worth it when they get there. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for this week. It's going to be a busy one. We got stuff Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday this week. So busy days, but totally worth it when you're eyeing a chance to host a playoff game
right.
next week. So if all plays out the way we're hoping right now, men's basketball will host a playoff game on March 5th. As soon as we know more details, we will find out that on Saturday. It's a little bit
Right.
more up in the air at the moment because of the loss. Had we gotten the win, it basically would have solidified that.
Yes,
But
I believe now. Do they need to win? Is it one of two, or would that clinch it, or do they need more help as well? Because I've been
um,
trying to do the
it's,
math in terms
I
of
think
the
it's a little bit of both.
yeah,
If you win one, I think you basically clinch it. If
yeah,
Ender loses or Flagler loses, then that basically will put it up there because
yeah,
we do have 10 wins in conference already, and
yep,
I think Lander has 8. Maybe
yep.
I think they're 8
But
and 9.
but the beauty is you don't have to watch the scoreboard. All you have to do is find a
You
way to
just
pick
take
up a
care of
win.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah, just take care of business.
yep,
You're in a great spot. Had you won every game,
right.
had you won yesterday and you
But
win Wednesday and Saturday, it
but
could have
even
been
even
really
though even though they lost on Saturday, just talk about the enormity of that win Wednesday and how
Yeah,
important that
yeah,
was.
that's huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge. You
Yep.
needed that one,
Yep.
and especially against your rival. I think that's
Right.
huge. So, but a lot of good things are happening for the men's squad. A lot of good things happening for everybody else around campus. Men and women's track and field gets back in action in a couple of weeks as well. So they're going to take a break before, like I said on the lowdown the other night, they wrapped up everything, finished 3rd and 5th in the conference. So everybody's it's in full force. Spring crossover season is a crazy time for small universities like us. So, Matt or Wes, I thank you for hopping on with me tonight. I know it's just me and you, so we're going to go ahead and end this a little bit early tonight, so everyone can go home, some sleep, and get ready for a busy week for us as well. So, final thoughts, real quick, before we head out.
Just preparing for what's going to be a fantastic week of USB athletics. I mean, 2 games in the Cove, a chance to host another one the week after if things go right on the men's side. So just the anticipation for that, because we have 2 big games coming up, but just the thought of what would be the biggest game that we have had at the Cove up to this point,
Yep.
a week later. So just pumped for that, and pumped to see the softball team and how they've been playing, and an opportunity to head back over to Richard Gray, and hoping to try to make it out there for Tuesday. I'll let you know, but just excited to see them back over here to face Fayetteville State. Man, they are on a heck of a run to begin the year, and baseball, tough series. You almost had it, but still, a lot to be optimistic about as you go forward.
Yep, I completely agree, Wes. All right, my friends. Well, we will see you guys next time. Not sure yet with our schedule. We'll see how next week's episodes rolls around, but we will be back in here for sure at some point before the end of the season. So for Wes Kerr, I'm Brackin Lambert. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind. And as always, make sure you keep those fins up, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good night, guys.